Well, we knew that we were in a kind of asylum, but even when I wrote about this in my first book, Illiberal Education, I presented the asylum as a kind of crazy house inside of a larger culture. But it now almost seemed like the asylum has become America. And you mentioned earlier George Orwell. I mean, it's almost as if there's a group of people, we're in some dystopian future society where a group of vicious people are taking Orwell not as a warning, but as a handbook. They open up Orwell, they go, oh my gosh, this guy has some fantastic ideas. Let's start implementing them right away. So this whole notion of a ministry of truth, controlling information, acting as if they get to define what reality is when reality should be emerging through observation, experiment, criticism, debate. I mean, all our processes from science to the law are based upon the idea of contested ideas, and somehow in politics they want to abolish them.
And Kim, a disturbing exchange happened at today's White House briefing. Check it out.
Is this administration concerned that the former president's defense could incite further violence?
Certainly watching reactions in the country, watching the potential for violence is something that we will do closely from the White House across the country, and that's something we will certainly keep an eye on.
I'm surprised Psaki didn't get a foot massage and a hot stone, massage on her back. I mean, what else could she be given? So apparently the president can't have a defense at all. He doesn't deserve a defense because it could spur more extremism. Kim.
Laura, too, because this is now becoming the game plan. You see a lot of people on the left talking and worrying about domestic violence and domestic terrorism. But then you have a piece like this that seamlessly transitions into the real problem, the growing problem of domestic extremism. Okay, who gets to define what extremism is? At least terrorism and violence are crimes, but extremism, you get a Biden administration that just decides anything that is beyond its pale somehow gets lumped into the same category as terrorism and violence. And that's thought police. That's not actually, we have laws against the former, but fortunately we have a First Amendment that protects the latter.
And Dinesh, extremism is defined as anyone who disagrees with their disordered thinking, period.
Well, look at the weirdness of simply saying that if Trump denies that he is engaging in incitement, denies that his words had the effect of provoking any kind of violence, that itself is now interpreted as a provocation to violence. So we're now living in a world where words have sort of lost their basic meaning. Terms like incitement don't really mean incitement. They mean things like defending yourself, speaking up for yourself, playing your appropriate part in a formal Senate trial. And the fact that you have this kind of cozy relationship between the media and the Biden team shows we don't really have a functioning free press in the country. The press are sort of in on it, and it's almost like they're making coded signals to the Biden press secretary. They're speaking a kind of mutual language among themselves, which they both understand.